recording. And let me see if I can share the screen. Good, good. Well done. Well, this is a new module, Module 9, and it's called Your School Needs You. And we're going to have a lot of discussion about learning English outside the classroom. We're also during the discussion, we will be using modal verbs, expressing recommendation, advice, possibility, probability. And we are also going to talk about error correction, which is something that we are all very interested in. It's a topic that we all always talk about. So, first things first. First thing, I'm going to ask you to think. If you want to jot down ideas, feel free to do so. So, think, what should or could students do to learn English outside the classroom? Not in your classroom. In your classroom, you're in charge. You plan your lessons. You bring along ideas, resources, whatever. Now think of your students outside the classroom. Just for a minute, less than a minute, jot down some ideas. What could or should they do to learn English outside the classroom? I will open the chat box to see if you have jotted down any ideas.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hello, Sonia. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I would just want to participate in this question. What comes up on my mind that students should engage in an English conversation outside the classroom, let's say in their daily life, in their houses, with their peers, if they could manage to do that. And also, since we are a second language learner of English, I guess participating in an online courses, especially speaking, could be helping somehow.
How plausible, how feasible, how possible is that? I mean, do your
Okay, let me tell you. Actually, participating in the houses is much likely. Let's say it's hard, especially if the mother and the parents, let's say the parents are literate or they don't know English or they don't participate English at all. So this could be hard at many cases, depending on the houses where they live. But for the online courses, I guess it's applicable. Now we are using internet 24-hour, so it's not hard for them to engage in speaking online using English.
okay.
Even if it's not paid, there are some apps. They are free. You are free to talk to others without paying anything.
Okay, so you're thinking of apps, you're thinking of some tools that can help you reach out, so reach people who are somewhere else in the world and who can speak to you in English. Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking of? Okay.
Yes.
And is it something that your students could do, or is it something that you recommend that?
Okay. Well, let me go back again to tell you that. At some houses, females are not, how can I say it to you? They are not allowed to use or to speak to strangers
Of course.
um, because,
Yes. Yes.
well, some families are strict, let's say. Um, let's say if they have already the smartphones, some families and parents, they are strict and they are afraid for their children to speak with the strangers in order not to let's say affect them with strange ideas and etc.
Of course. Of course. So we cannot encourage that, can we? So
Yeah,
it,
if the children and their parents are aware and they are over controlled of what they are going to do when they are speak, let's say the parents are joining the online classes. This is one of the ideas.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Sonia, for bringing in all these interesting ideas.
Welcome.
That some things are possible, but they are not recommendable. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Shada, you also put up your hand.
Yes, hi Sylvia again.
Hi.
I say that the student may learn English outside the classroom in several ways, maybe to use English in their daily life. For example, to change their device settings to English, their computers, their phones, their apps, and to think in English when planning for their day. For example, my son keep a note with him. It could be in English, and to label the items at home in English, for example, for his own personal things, his brush teeth, his games, his Mm, in his room he can label anything in English,
And
and to engage with English in media, for example, to see movies, series in English, listen to music and podcast,
yeah,
audiobooks, or maybe to read a book, a full book in English.
of
And I want to point for a very important point here when reading. It's not very necessary to understand every single word in English, but you now practicing reading English pronunciation, raising and falling, intonation. You now practicing try to pronounce new words in English, and this is considered uh, in learning English outside the classroom. You may practice speaking regularly by participating in clubs, speaking clubs, book clubs, discussions group, and to use the voice features in the apps like in ChatGPT, in Duolingo, and Elsa Speak. Use your voice to search for your information. So you now practicing tell this app what you want, and to write a little every day. Actually,
amazing.
this thing, it's a thing that I, from when I was a child, I always do it. I try to write a little every day,
Good, good.
and this may cause that now this is maybe the most important reason that now I can in
Of,
English as an English teacher.
of course, of course.
And
I'm
you
surprised
may,
that your son, does this because you tell him, because his teacher told him, or just because?
he like English, and he likes English, and he like to learn more and more about English. I want to be like you, mother. I want to be like you, speaking English and influently,
Mm.
not in hesitant. I want to be influent in English. So he tried to get a label in his room to everything in English.
Okay, this is a clear
Um,
example of acculturation. I mean, he wants to
yes,
belong. He wants to belong to the community of speakers of English.
yes. And you may use learning apps such as Duolingo. Duolingo's his favorite app in his tablet.
Yes,
Duolingo, and the Quizlet, flashcards. You can use the flashcards
of
with
course.
them. And for there is a very fun learning competitions in Kahoot.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
They
and
are,
immerse yourself in a real life situations.
okay.
Visit cafes or events where English is used, and you can learn a new thing from it in English. Set a realistic goals and track progress. For example, put a goal that I want for this week to learn up to 20 new words.
Well, that's amazing. I mean,
Yes,
if
and
I
challenge yourself to read one page for daily, for example.
you are a lucky mother because I haven't come across many students like your son, I must say. But
Yes,
it's amazing. It's amazing all the resources that our students have available. And
yes,
I can see a lot of these resources in the chat. Samar
yes.
wrote, Tukina, Sonia, and Shadia, you put up your hand. What would you like to add to this?
Yes, Sylvia, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
And I'd like to add something. I'd suggest that sometimes we want to change our phone's language from Arabic to English because our children nowadays use their phones a lot of time. For example, they are watching cartoon movies using English language without a translation.
Mm.
To use, they want to listen to English language without translation. For example, when I was at Ajloun College before 25 years, I studied there. We visited the British Council, and this experience is still amazing for me. I was just 19 years old, but I was influenced by my teachers there, my teachers in Ajloun College, and the way they are dealing and speaking English with the people in British Council. I suggest that we have in Jordan a children museum in Amman. I suggest that we have to improve something using English language, the same as children museum, using English language just without using Arabic language.
Wow, amazing. You have so many ideas. I mean,
Yes,
I cannot believe it. So this happened 25 years ago when you were a
yes.
student. Ah,
When I was a student in Ajloun College, yes, it was a good experience, a very amazing experience.
okay. Do you think you can repeat this experience nowadays?
Yes, yes, I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, and what should you do to repeat this experience? Should you write,
Yeah,
I don't know, a letter to the British Council to ask for
I
permission?
think so. An email to British Council to visit it. I'd like to.
That would be a great idea. Certainly, certainly. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for the chat box. We are going to work in groups now. And in our groups, each group will assess, will evaluate a different type of resource that you can use, that activity that you can invite your students to do. You can invite them, you can suggest, you can give them the possibility. Group one will be discussing about websites and apps. We have already talked a lot about Duolingo and ChatGPT and all that. Group two will be talking about English clubs. Group three, social networking, gaming. Group four, music, podcast, YouTube, videos in general. And group five will think of asking or suggesting finding a hobby or a skill, like drama, joining a drama club, or singing in English, or writing their own diaries in English. So I'm going to get you into 5 groups. Number one, we are going to have 5 groups. And in each group, you will have to discuss 3 questions, right? The first question is, do your learners engage in this type of activity when they want to practice English outside the classroom? Do they or don't they? Number 2, what are the benefits of this activity? What can the students learn from participating, for example, in an English club? And number 3 has to do with issues and concerns, things that, well, some problems, some challenges that these activities could bring along. So 3 questions about a different activity. So let me get you into groups. Group 1, in group 1 there is Samar, there is Sarah, and there is Shada. And I'm going to ask Sarah to conduct the discussion, to organize the discussion, and then to report. In group 2, there is somebody called 975223. Please change your name because I don't know who you are. There is Sana and there is Sonia Alshonak. Please, Sana, you will be the coordinator. In group 3, there is Ali and Sukina, and I'm going to ask Ali to coordinate, but you are 2, so you can work nicely without a coordination. Number 4, there's also 2. I don't know, people are leaving. What is the matter? Well, Fatima and Shadia, I would like to have Fatima doing all this coordination work. I will get somebody else to be there. And number 5, again, Sanad and Sonia Ahmad. So Sonia Ahmad, could you coordinate? Now, let me see. Are we all here? I'm going to open the rooms. And if somebody else arrives, I will place you there. For example, Shauk has just arrived. So I will place Shauk in one of the rooms where there are 2. So 3 questions, yes, about the different activity each group. Remember, group 1 is websites and apps. Group 2 is the English club. Group 3 is social networking and videos and, and games. Group 4 is music, podcasts, and videos. And group 5 is finding a hobby. So Shada, please join the group. Then group 2, Sonia, Sana, and the number, please join. Number 3, Ali and Sukina, please join. Group 4, Fatima, please join. And because you are the coordinator, Fatima, so please join. And Sonia Ahmad, please join the group. All right? Please do that so that we can have the conversation. It will take around 5 minutes. Sukina, Sonia, Sana, can you please join? Join your groups. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Okay, thank you, Sukina. I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to visit the groups.
Excuse me, I didn't have the sign join. I missed it.
Ah, okay. All right. So let me see. Wait a second. Don't accept now. Just wait until I place you in the right place. Okay, now you should accept the invitation. Did you get it? Ali is there. Great. All right. So now we are going to wait until the rest come back. For the time being, we're going to, okay, check. Well, quite a few groups have finished already. There are 2 groups that are still discussing, so we're going to wait until they come back. So let me see. Who is 975223? Can you give me your name? I don't know who you are. If you want to write your name in the chat box, I can change your name. The group was group 2, Sana and Sonia. Do you know who was there with you?
No. Hello, Sylvia.
No, no,
I don't know who is.
no.
Okay.
واقع هو
If
ضابط حفته من ورا لو لمسته راحت ركبتي ما جت على عارضه تكون افضل مدافع.
We asked it, but he didn't answer.
we don't know.
We don't know.
Whoever is 975223, can you write your name in the chat box? And I can change your name. I can do that for you. All right. Well, people, great. We have finished. Yes, all the groups are here. Well done, well done, well done. I noticed you were all working very actively. Yes? Okay. So I'm going to start by asking Fatima. Fatima was in group 5. Fatima, was it? No, sorry. Fatima was group 4. And Fatima was with Shadia and Shauk. So 3 questions. And the topic, let me show you again. Fatima, your topic was music, broadcasts, YouTube videos, etc. What did you discuss?
Good evening.
Hi,
Good evening,
Fatima.
Sylvia. Good evening, all.
How are you?
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
According to our group, using a music, a podcast, and YouTube inside our classrooms are very useful for our students, especially for the lower class. For example, they sing with the songs, clap their hands, and they have fun. About the challenges, we have a very small rooms, so our students can't move easily inside the class. Sometimes we have a lack of some resources like internet to use the YouTube in our schools. Lack of times also, it is a challenge for us inside our classroom. I think the most benefit for using YouTube also is that students can use the barcode inside their homes, not only in the school. They can listen to the lessons again and the songs again inside their homes.
What about the issues? What about the challenges? What problems can you envision?
The problem, the most important one is the lack of internet in our schools. We don't have a good internet or websites in our schools to use the YouTube. Also, we don't have data show or something like this.
Right. Now, supposedly, we want them to do all these activities when they are not at school. Do they have a internet connection at home?
Yes, they have, and they can use the barcode inside their box, actually.
Okay.
And they use it.
And they use it, and they do use it.
Yeah, they use it.
Okay. Which do they prefer? Music, podcasts, YouTube videos? Which channels do they prefer?
For the lower level, for example, for 40 grades, they like YouTubes. They like to see and act.
And do they use, when they are at home watching YouTube, do they read the subtitles?
I think they do.
Mm-hmm.
As their teacher said to them.
In what language are the subtitles?
In English.
Good. Well, that's good because they are exposed to the oral language and to the written language because the caption, the subtitles are in English, and it helps
in English.
When they don't understand something orally, they can read.
Can read it, yes.
Yeah, yes. And how appropriate are the films or the movies that they can watch for their level, for their language level, for their age level? How appropriate are they?
For me, I give my students the name of the films that they can see it on the YouTube.
Okay. So you guide them.
Yes,
You guide them. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
thanks to your group as well that participated so actively. Now I will ask Sonia, who was in group 5, what about the hobby? I'm very curious about a hobby or a skill that your students can do in English.
Yeah.
What conclusions have you come to?
Yeah, we came to conclusion that yes, we as a teacher can encourage our students to choose a hobby or skill to practice using English, of course. And I guess for my students, my own students, I have an IT student, who's doing a programming and coding, and this thing includes a lot of English, uh, especially in the IT nouns, compound nouns, and collocations. So she uses a lot of English in her classes. Um, as for the advantages of this method, we came up to conclusion that um, learning in such way students can enjoy and increase their motivation and confidence. So they build their vocabulary according to what they like in real life. But in other words, however, I guess that we have a lot of challenges. So, for example, that students may choose a hobby that um, doesn't match, or let's say that doesn't require a lot of English. So it needs guidance, I guess, at some point.
Okay, that's a very good point. So what can teachers do to foster, to encourage this type of activity? Say, look for a hobby, look for a skill, but
Well, I guess after encouraging them to choose a hobby, and I can say that this hobby really matches the use of English as I want as a teacher, and the next day or the next week, we can share ideas and thoughts in the classes. So this can motivate them more to speak at home and practice it at home or at school, to encourage them more in using it in our classes. Let's say give them extra motivation by giving gifts or the start of the week or whatever.
no, that's a very motivating indeed. Indeed, indeed. While you were explaining, what crossed my mind was something that I once suggested to my students at university. They are studying to become tour guides. And I suggested that they should join one of these free tour guides in English in Buenos Aires. Are there any tour guides in your city? In English, I mean, that they can join?
Actually, in my city, no, we don't have any historical places because the historical places in Jordan are in the let's say in the north. We have Petra, which is one of the seventh wonders in the world,
Yes.
and there's an Aqaba, etc. So these are far away from me. I'm on the border near Syria.
Oh, I see. So that wouldn't applicable for your reality. But well,
No.
maybe there is another hobby or another skill that could be more appropriate for your context. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Sonia. That was really interesting to see how all these ideas, I mean, you did have ideas of the sort, and now we're putting them together. Thank you. So I will jump to group 2. I think I have Sana. Is that you in group 2?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, hello, Sylvia.
So, how are you today?
Yes, fine. Thank you.
Great, great, great. Okay. What are you going to talk about? Social
We start
and gaming. Oh dear.
we start to talk about an English club. This is
English
an
club. Yes, English club.
yes, English club. This is a good idea for our children or for our student to do it. We make it in our school that we have an English club. I'm responsible for this club with my teachers, colleagues. We start to collect some students. They have interest in English in language, but they don't have the ability to speak a lot. They don't have the confidence to speak English a lot. We started to make this a club and make those students give them the opportunity to speak and communicate with each other with a lot of issues, a lot of subject, and we faced a lot of problem for this club in our school. First of all, we have a limited student. We don't have a lot student in this club. We have the student. They don't have the ability, or they feel shyness when they are talking or communicated with each other. They tell us that they are understand what we are talking about. They organize or they demonstrate the grammar that we have talking about, but they don't know, or they didn't have the ability to start talking or to make a long speech. This is the point that we are talking about.
Okay. What was the English club about? Can you describe it? What was the invitation to read a story and discuss, to debate?
We have a lot of subject. We didn't make it for one issue or one subject. For example, we started to talk about some stories, short stories. We talk about and some article in the newspapers, a simple articles that happen here in Jordan. We start to talk about it. Then we see the level of those students, and we will make at the next time some competition between them. About we start to talk about longest stories, novels, something else.
Yes. Well, considering, of course, the level, you will have to adapt the activities, won't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So
we want that. Yes.
If not, it won't be very effective, and the students won't feel like coming. So that is a challenge that you face.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Well, that was very good. I mean, the idea that you have gone through the experience brings in a lot of insights here, right? But now we have many other things to consider if we want to start an English club. And I want to ask the rest of the people here, how effective do you think English clubs can be? Anybody else who would like to speak about this? How effective can English clubs in your school?
Sylvia,
Yes, please.
I think it's very effective and it's very useful for the student to be engaged in such clubs. For example, you may improve a skill with another students from another classes, and it's something very useful for the student.
What skills do you think they developed in your experience, in your own experience?
For our school, I think it's the skill of, first of all, speaking, because they need to engage in discussions a lot of times, and the skills of, let me say, presenting and viewing a new thing, because he have to show his feelings, his ideas, his expressions.
Okay, okay. So there's a lot of listening because they need to be listening actively, speaking, and presenting. Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. So we still have two groups. I'm going to ask Ali. That was the one of the social networks, was it? Let me see.
That's right.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
Ali. How are you?
How are you too? I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
So,
Great.
thanks, Sylvia. Okay, I guess our group, we talked about the third point. It's about social networking and gaming. So about how the students interact or engage. We think that's the most popular way because most students or kids like video games or playing games or using social networking, something like that. For the about the engage, most students engage very well with this method because we think it matches their daily interests like social media or gaming. It feels less formal than traditional lessons. And also, it's enjoyable and motivating rather than stressful. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, what about the challenges?
About the challenges or issues, uh, the most important point, I guess, distraction. It's distract. The social platforms can easily pull student away from learning. Also, they could be a passive learning. Students might only watch or listen without actually practicing speaking. Also about networks, maybe sometimes they face negative online interaction or network in their place.
Yes, there could be bullying, phubbing. I mean, there could be many dangers out there.
That's right.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Great. Thank you very much. So we see a lot of benefits in gaming and social networking, but we also find lots of challenges and issues, and maybe our students' parents are not very happy that we promote this. So we have to be very careful. Maybe the students actually engage in social networking and gaming, and they come along, they come into class, and they bring vocabulary in English that they have learned. But probably if parents are not very keen on this, we shouldn't make a suggestion that they should go and, well, delve into these places. And the last group would be Sarah's, that's group one. I think we have already talked about this, but I would like to hear what you say about this.
Sylvia,
Yes. Hello, Sarah.
how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes. In our group, we all agreed on the apps and websites are useful for our students, and they already caught their interest and attention to learn and to practice English outside the classrooms. And we mentioned some of those apps and websites. We mentioned italki, Bilingo app, and many apps, and we all agree that are useful. So let's move to the benefits of using those apps. The first point we all agree on that our students can learn anytime and anywhere, and there is no fixed schedule to deal with. You can learn and can use use those apps anywhere, anytime, if there's a good connection network. And the second point is the low cost, as many apps offer free tries or cheaper than regular schedules or regular lessons courses or private courses. And for the engaging and interactive learners, apps today use gamified lessons and present audiovisual content, which interacts our students to exercise and to go on and to motivate them. So, and the third point is personalized learning. So our students can learn based on their level of learning. So we can start by beginner, intermediate, or advanced, step by step. And let's move to the concerns or limitation of those apps. The first limitation, I think, is the technical issue or the bad connection of internet and the quality of content of those apps. And let's move to the limited human interaction, as our students deal with apps, no real participations with a native speakers, just an apps.
Well, you have hit on the nail there. What about the human aspect? If they only relate, if they only connect with websites and apps, yes, they will
Yes,
get a lot of input. But what about the interaction with other humans? Yes, you are so right. I am very concerned about the fact that now students interact with the AI, with ChatGPT, for example, or Gemini, as if those machines were persons. And they tend to, do more and more of this kind of thing. And what about their relationship with other humans, right? How do they relate? How do they connect? I feel that you have brought a very important issue at stake. Yes, definitely.
and yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me add another concern, which is speaking skills may still weak if we don't practice it with a real conversations.
Of course. Of course.
And I think, yes, those apps require self-discipline and to keep practicing or to keep learning every day as a daily routine.
Right. And they are apps that they have access to, but we don't know what they are doing. So as teachers, we have no inherence. I mean, no feedback. So probably in the future, we will have access to apps that can follow our learners, and we can notice what they're doing. There are some already, but well, they are not for free, and that demands a school to pay.
Give a reflection as a reflection.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So wonderful. I think you have all been able to identified those activities that your students are already doing in English, which is amazing because we didn't have these opportunities when we were studying English. In my case, I would listen to the records, those big records, and I would listen to songs and I would try to imitate the pronunciation. Nowadays, our students have access to whatever they feel like. So there is a big advantage there for learning English, but of course, there are some limitations that you all mentioned and some concerns that we need to see to so that it doesn't get out of control, or they may run risks that we don't want them to run. Great. So we have covered the part in relation to learning English outside the classroom. The other section, and we have practiced using modals, of course. The other section is error correction. And here I want to point out that there are two kinds of teachers. This goes on like this. Error correction is an aspect of teaching and learning that has divided teachers into those who assert that correction can be wrong, can be counterproductive, and hinder the learning process, and those who affirm that correction is necessary for learning to take place. If you ask me, I feel that learners need to know whether they have done correctly or not. Otherwise, how will they notice what is correct and what is not? Probably the type of correction will be more human and less of a penalization, right? We don't punish our students for making mistakes. We understand what is going on and we try to approach them. So I would like a very quick round, yes? Pick one of these these questions and write the answer in the chat box or put up your hand and turn on the mic. So here we have 3 questions in relation to this quote. Is it, in your opinion, is it counterproductive or is it necessary? Why? As a learner, do you expect your teachers to correct you? Why? And as a teacher, what kind of errors do you usually correct and why? So I'll be opening the chat box to see if there's anybody writing there. And I wait. If you happen to want to say something orally, you just raise your hand in the participants box, and then we pass on to you. So which question would you like to answer? Thank you, Sonia Alchonak. No. No. Thank you, Sukina. Sukina is the first one to give opinion. It is important. Why would you say it's important, Sukina, to correct? How does it help our learners?
Yes, Sylvia. I think because grammar it's form the sentence, and you know that tense is very important to make students speak meaningful sentences. So I think we have to correct their mistakes in grammar as well as vocabulary. Some vocabulary we use them in a wrong situation. So we teach them as synonyms of the words and how to imply these vocabulary in sentences. So I think if we have to correct them, because if they apply them in a wrong way, they continue use it in a wrong way.
Okay, and it can get fossilized. The more they repeat the mistake, the more fossilized the language will be. So, Sukina, in what activities would you stop to correct them? Because sometimes,
yes, I think in speaking, sometime when I make a debating for the class, I, sometimes I didn't stop the students while they are speaking in order to support them to continue and express their opinion freely without any obstacles.
Right. So when they are talking fluently, we don't stop to correct them, but we make some notes, maybe written notes or mental notes, so that afterwards, when you plan your lessons, your future lessons, you can work on those mistakes that appeared there in the fluency activity. So that is a good way to go about it. Thank you, Sukina. Yes, Sarah, you put up your hand. Which question would you like to answer? Yes. Yes, Shada? You put up.
Yes, Sylvia.
Yes.
Okay. For my opinion, I think, in my opinion, correction is necessary, but it must be done in a careful and supportive way. I think that without correction, learners might repeat the same mistakes and never realize what they are doing wrong. However, if correction is too frequent or too strict, let me say, it can make a student feel nervous and afraid to speak. So correction is necessary, but it should be balanced, gentle, and appropriate for the learner's level. Okay.
Thank you, Shara.
And
We agree. I think we agree. Yes.
yeah, okay. And as a learner, yes, I expect my if I were my students, I expect that my teachers to correct me because for you, Sylvia, I expect you to correct me because I want to know when I'm using incorrect grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary.
Right. Right.
If
I generally recast when you said something
yes,
like I would, you should say I would expect my teacher to correct. If I were
yes,
my students, I would, yes, I would
yes,
expect my teachers to correct. Definitely.
yes.
Definitely.
And if teachers do not correct for their students, they may continue developing bad habits
Yes.
that are difficult to change later.
Right. Yes.
Yes, it
Those
will be fixed with them.
so those mistakes will appear again and again, right?
Yes, yes. And for the third question, as a teacher, I usually correct errors that affect communication, such as using the wrong verb tense, incorrect vocabulary, or unclear pronunciation. These mistakes can cause misunderstanding, so they need to be corrected immediately at the
Okay.
same time. And I also correct frequent or repeated errors because they show that the learner has not fully understood a rule. However, I don't correct every small mistake, especially when the student is speaking confidently. My goal is to help my students and to improve without discouraging them.
Right, right. So you have to find a happy medium between overcorrecting and correcting. You have to balance
Yes,
this. And
yes, yes.
the best way is to say, all right, we are working
I,
for fluency. I don't stop them. I'm working for accuracy. I stop them.
yes, I said that before. Correction is very necessary, but it's also necessary. It should be balanced and gentle and appropriate for the learner's level.
Exactly. Thank you, Shara. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Sarah, what is your opinion?
Yes, Sylvia.
Hello.
If we are behind, as you mentioned before, if we are behind the currency, we have to correct them immediately. But if we are behind the fluency, I think the error correction here is is or hinder the learning process as our student, or when a student is corrected too much, they may feel nervous or scared or feel shy or embarrassed to keep speaking.
Sure.
And I think it interrupted communication and interrupted the ideas in
Of
our
course.
students' mind. And also it reduced motivation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And our students just focusing on avoiding mistakes, not to sharing ideas.
Exactly. Exactly. So we need to strike a balance. Now I go for fluency and I allow mistakes, but I always take down notes and I go back to my notes. And when I plan my lessons, I focus on those mistakes. But when I work for accuracy, my students know that I will stop them and I will correct. So very clear aims for our students. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. And I would also like to thank Shoruk because in the chat it says, I think error correction is necessary because it's part of the learning process. Exactly. Our learners need to know, to notice whether they are on the right track or not. It helps them become aware. Now, the question is that sometimes things are not that easy because it depends on why the learners make mistakes. Sometimes it is L1 interference. Say, I speak Spanish, my learners speak Spanish, and when they talk about buying a book, they say, I will go to the library. But the library in English is a place where you borrow books. So sometimes the words they know in Spanish interfere with the learning of English. Does this happen in your language as well? In your learner's first language, that there is a word that they use instead of another because, well, in English it has one meaning and in your mother tongue it has another meaning? Any examples that you can give? Do you have the same example with the library question? I think you do. It's a place where you borrow books and the place where you buy books. But in your mother tongue, probably, yeah? Is that so? Well, in Spanish, this happens. There are many sources of errors. Interference, when you use elements from one language to produce another, as the one of the library I gave just now. Overgeneralization, they use the same rule for everything, like she bought a new book. Well, in the past, you add ed. Well, this is wrong because buy is an irregular form, verb. Or maybe they don't know. They don't know that we don't need a preposition after discuss. You say we discussed the problem, not we discussed about the problem, but probably they never learned it. So they will make a mistake. Incompleteness, maybe the sentences are incomplete, that the auxiliary is something they tend to omit. So, well, there you have a source of error because probably they don't know they need to use the auxiliary or they haven't acquired it. Sometimes they make false hypotheses. They assume something. They make a wrong assumption. I was go on holiday. No, I was on holiday or I went on holiday, but you don't use both verbs. Another source of error could be hypercorrection. When we correct everything, they may feel that everything is wrong, so they will fall into the trap of making mistakes. Or simplification. They tend to simplify, or they, like, you went where instead of where did you go, which is more complex for a beginner. Sometimes they avoid things that are very difficult and they use the present continuous instead of the present perfect continuous. Or maybe they were taught wrongly. They were given the wrong instruction, the wrong input from teachers, from their classmates. Maybe they're copying what other classmates said. Or, as we mentioned today, if we never correct, that error fossilizes. It becomes something that they assume it is right. It's part of their learner interlanguage, and they will never learn the right way. So we have 10 different statements. Just read them quickly and choose one statement that you agree with. Then go to the chat box and write the number. So to what extent do you agree with these 10 statements? You don't need to choose more than one. One is enough. So go to the chat box and write the number of the statement you agree with, please. Let's see. Okay, I'll give you another minute to go through it, and then I will expect the numbers in the chat box. See? Number 3, says Sonia. Thank you, Sonia. Teachers have to adapt their error correction approach based on the learner's levels and goals. You cannot just correct in the same way because some beginners will not understand, or maybe there are certain concepts that the beginners still don't know. So, well, you may skip that. Thank you so much. We have number 4. Sukina says you don't have to correct pronunciation errors if they don't interfere with our understanding. So comprehension comes first. Thank you, Sukina. Then comes number 9. Yes, quite a few people chose number 9. Some blue. Yes. Omar, why would you say number 9 is the one you identify with?
يا ميرفت
Hello.
Yes,
أنا بالمحاضرة دقيقة.
Yes, I choose number 9. A student must understand why their answer is wrong, not just that it is wrong. Because if they know why their answer is wrong, they will avoid to do it again.
exactly. Exactly.
They won't wrong or do the same mistake again if they know the reason why they wrong.
Exactly. So knowing the why will help them learn so the next time they use it, they will not make mistakes. So there
Yeah.
are many other numbers. Number 5, number 3, Shada strongly agrees with beginners need simple and gentle correction. So I insist correction is necessary, but what kind of correction? And that is what we need to take care of. We need to help them with a correction by repetition, by recasting. Maybe we say the same thing, but with a correct form. Our body language, our facial expressions can help. You can ask them to say that again. Can you say that again? Probably when they say it again, they self-correct. We take down notes so that we can then plan ahead. And we can also use questions, of course, to find out whether we have understood correctly or whether they can identify the mistake. So we have many teachers we can identify with, but, well, probably in my case, I would identify probably with number 5, not with number 4, and probably not with number 1 unless I am working on accuracy. I know that you have many ideas. We have mentioned them already. So I will ask you to just write the number of teacher you agree with. And with that, we will be coming to an end. Today has been a very fruitful meeting with a lot of discussion, a lot of ideas. Congratulations to all. So just tell me which teacher you would feel identified with, and that would be the end of the day today. Okay, so there you have 5 teachers. And I told you who I wouldn't identify with. Shadia identifies with number 4. Really? Is accuracy more important than fluency? Well, it depends on the aim of your lesson. Sometimes you work on accuracy. Sometimes you work on fluency. Sarah, would you like to make a comment, or did you just leave your hand up? No? Okay. Well, people, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing all your ideas. How is the game doing? How is the football game doing? Are you still winning? Okay.
Yes, winning 3 goals.
Oh, that is very good. Very good. Congratulations. Well,
Thank you.
pay attention to, well, to your game, of course, and pay attention to the new module all this week. And please, 975223, if you don't tell me who you are, you will get an absent. So please let me know who you are. And thank you so much to the rest of you. The rest can leave, but 975223, please stay and tell me who you are. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye bye,
Sylvia. Bye.
Sylvia. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you very much. Excellent work. Bye-bye. Okay, 975223. Who are you?